Nächster Halt, Hauptwache. Ausstieg in Fahrtrichtung links.
Hello and welcome to another great review today from Frankfurt Christmas Market. Today we'll be testing the Canon EF 16-35mm f2.8 Mark III and the 24-105mm f4 Mark II USM. Enjoy this review in English from Frankfurt, and if you have any questions, leave me a comment below. The 24-105mm has a fixed aperture of f4 through the entire focal length. So it doesn't matter if you shoot at a wide angle of 24mm or if you zoom to 105mm, the aperture stays at f4 if you wish to keep it, of course. This great all-rounder lens weighs just 800 grams, which is quite nice for any occasion, especially for weddings and holidays. The filter size measures 77mm, so it does not get too expensive when you plan using a filter. With a single hand movement you can step through the entire focal length, and the focus ring has a pleasant resistance. Another feature of the 24-105mm is the integrated image stabilizer, which allows you up to 3 times longer exposure settings without any noticeable shakings. If you need any examples, take a look in the description below, there's a download link. I think that you will waste your time if you start looking for chromatic aberrations on the 24-105mm. We tried to spot them, but as you can see, this piece of glass has an outstanding performance when it comes to chromatic aberrations. Download these files for private use. In terms of vignetting with the 24-105mm, you don't need to worry about that much with the second generation of this lens. At f4 you can expect to have some dark edges, but nothing that Lightroom can't fix. To let you know, the ultrasonic autofocus system works with an outstanding speed. It doesn't matter if you focus through the viewfinder or in live view. It's one of the best lenses to have for photojournalism, sports, if you get close enough of course, or for the next holiday and city trip with your family, through the flexibility of a wide angle and a zoom lens. By the way, the touch focus works quite fast in combination with the 5D Mark IV. Another great opportunity to make the most out of this lens would be for street photography. It's a great lens to always have on one's camera. At 24mm on a full frame body you can get enough in frame without that much of distortion around the edges. At 105mm you can get close enough for most occasions, even at a full frame camera such as the 5D Mark IV. Through the relatively light weight, it's a great lens to have for discovering other cities. It's bokeh time, and I'm happy to tell you that you get a really nice looking bokeh with this lens as well. I mean, the maximum aperture is just f4, but filming interviews at about 50 or 85mm wide open blurs out the background quite nice. Of course there are better lenses as well, but if you consider having a lens that sticks always onto your camera, it's quite nice and a good performer. Let's get to the next point, the lens flare. There's not much to say, neither to complain. You will notice just a tiny bit of flare pointing this lens straight into the sun. If you compare it to the previous version, you can see there's an improvement, and lens flare should not consider to be an issue anymore. The closest focusing distance on the entire focal length with the 24-105mm is at about 1.4 feet, which is 45mm. With such a focusing distance, it's possible for you to take stunning detail shots of food, flowers or jewelry, and you still get a blur background even shooting at f4. The best part of this lens is its flexibility you have through the variable focal lengths. 24mm is great for wide angle shots, and 105mm gives you the flexibility to bring your subjects closer to your full frame or APS-C sensor camera. The maximum aperture of f4 does not bother me at all on my 5D Mark IV through its outstanding low light performance. When I take photos and videos during daylight conditions, I stop down to f8 anyways, and if I want to make use of the bokeh, I'm gonna use an ND filter during video recording. Some files are available for download, the link is in the description below for you. Let's get to our conclusion about the Canon EF 24-105mm f4 Mark II. At the beginning and also with the previous version of this lens, I did not know what to do with such a lens because I stick to my fixed focal lenses. But it point out that this lens is a nice all-rounder to have for your full frame or APS-C camera. Bear in mind that you get a 38 to 168mm on a camera such as the 80D with a crop factor of 1.6. If an aperture of f4 through the entire focal length works out for your projects, it's a great lens to have for your video recordings because you can save such a lot of weight by carrying just a single lens with you. Especially if you deal with press, sport and wedding photography or for your YouTube channel. The bokeh on this lens is quite soft even through the widest aperture of just f4. And guess what? The image stabilizer seems to do a decent job as well. So stay tuned and get this lens at Frankfurt's favorite camera store GM-Foto. Have a great New Year's Eve and all the best for 2017. Tschüss and thanks for watching.